Welcome back to another edition of Vikings Film Room, brought to you by the Vikings Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Pete Bercich. Now, the Minnesota Vikings get ready to take on the New England Patriots on a Thanksgiving night showdown. Now, when you think of the Patriots, you think of defense. Now, let's take a deep dive into the film and show you how hustle, physicality, and oh, by the way, some good players makes for a great defense. Now, when you think of the Patriots defense, everybody wants to talk about Judon. Now, he's over here. He's got the red shoes, but there are other guys out there. And this guy, Juwan Bentley, linebacker, something special. We're going to watch him just a few of these plays against the Jets, which, by the way, was a 3-3 affair until a punt return changed everything. But this guy, fast, physical, smart. We're going to start with him. Watch everything that he does on this play. The first thing you're going to notice is that this guard pulls. And as soon as this guard pulls, he goes with it. He gets over the top. He knows that the play is going to go whichever way the guard goes. So, guard pulls. He scoots over the guard who has an angle, and then he gets to the tight end. Now listen, this guy's getting over the top of a guard who has an angle. Once he gets there, he sees this tight end is trying to block him and kick him out. He has the wherewithal to turn that shoulder, get underneath that pulling tight end, right? Over the top, underneath the puller, not easy to do. Gets his shoulder underneath it and gets in on the tackle. This guy is really good. All right, we saw Bentley against the pull. What about the zone? And this is exactly how a 3-4 linebacker should play the zone. And I'll point out all the intricacies of this in this play. As this zone starts to go to his right, you see this immediate gap right here. So if this running back takes this handoff, gets downhill, he can make himself here available. However, lineman's playing back into this one. The guard's vision is this way. So as soon as this gap starts to close, you're going to see him take the next available gap. Now he's going sideways, right? He's going sideways. He's stringing out with the play. But as soon as he sees this gap and sees that the running back's shoulders are square, which means cutback, watch what he does. He gets north and south, puts the foot in the ground, gets under the tackle, gets inside, makes the tackle. This guy can play the pull and he can play the zone. Another aspect of a defense is physicality. And this is what you're going to see. They rotate safeties in like they do defensive linemen. You're going to see a whole bunch of different guys in this backfield. But Kyle Duggar, very good blitzer, but also a very, very physical safety. What does that mean? And this is a subtle but extremely important difference in football. You see the jet sweep, the running back goes to the outside, he fakes it. Now he's got this gap. They've got this blocked up. They've got the double team here. They've got the end blocked out. They've got everything here blocked down. This is an alley. This should be a 9 to 10 yard play. Duggar is way over here, but watch what happens. He plants his foot, gets inside, and he's physical at the point, right? Physical at the point. That running back doesn't get any further. That ended up being a 2-yard gain. 2-yard gain, which something that should have been 8 or 9, turns it into a 2. That's what physicality does for a defense. All right, sticking with the theme of physicality, there's this guy, Deatrich Wise. Tall, long arms, great leverage. This is an example of a guy just beating a guy one-on-one. Deatrich Wise, see him over here. He's going to have this guard turn out on him and block him out as a tight end comes underneath. But watch him extend this arm, get that separation, sees the running back, throws that offensive lineman, comes off, and makes the play. Okay, so one of the things that makes a defense great is the small things, right? We've already seen a picture of the safety being deep, a 9-yard run that should have been hit, and then boom, what do they get? They get 2. This is another example, and you're going to see on this side Deatrich Wise again, and they're going to run a little stunt right here. Wise coming underneath, linebacker coming over the top. But the important thing here is you have the counter, and Wise is collapsing this thing down because this running back wants to get to this gap right here, right? All the way over here. But watch this safety. Watch him. He's all the way outside. I mean, he's 12 to 14 yards from the mesh point. How is he going to affect this play? Well, when you're physical at the point right here, continue to collapse, get underneath that tight end, you're able to do what? Get on that running back, boom, the second man to the ball. Hits, makes the running back go backward. That was a lost yardage play. So we already know also it's a copycat league, and this is one of the things the Vikings have to get ready for because Dallas got us on this a couple of times. Deatrich Wise, once again, another thing that he does very well, stunts. and not necessarily running the stunt, but being the second part of the stunt. You see Josh Uche out here on the outside. This is just a TE. This is the tackle up and underneath, and when you have a quarterback that you're not super worried about keeping contain on, you're able to do this. But let's watch the finer points of this stunt. As Wise gets up the field, he's getting a double team, all right? But Wise knows that he has this guy looping underneath. See this guard? We've talked about this many times. You always want to have your shoulders turned. You never want to have them perpendicular to the line of scrimmage because this guard is in trouble. He's turned all the way, and now he's going to have to try to come off to block this looper. Wise only has to beat this tackle, which he's already on the edge. So he knows when he takes this stunt, this is the guy that Wise has to beat. They're gonna try to loop around underneath. He knows this guard's gonna come off. It's the old ricochet. Ask John Randall about it. Ricochet, come in, make the sack. Beautifully executed defensive line stunt. I told you we were gonna talk about this guy, Matthew Judon. He's unbelievable, great player, but something similar, right? Things rhyme, things kind of stay the same. This is gonna be the stunt that we just saw Wise run, but in this case, they're gonna add another guy in here. So you're gonna have two defensive linemen up the field and the looper, and this is what Judon does so well. 2D linemen up the field. Now this becomes a four-man pass-off. You have center, guard, tackle, tight end. This tight end doesn't know what to do. He's supposed to block him if he comes outside. Well, he's looping underneath. Now all these guys have to pass off somebody. This is a very difficult thing to do as an offensive line, but this guy runs this stunt so well, so quick underneath, and he can get on that edge, beat both those blockers, get through. You have contain on the outside by Wise. These guys really know how to run these stunts. Now we're gonna take a look at what all this pressure and stunts get you. In this case right here, Bentley, linebacker, Judon, outside linebacker. They work very well together. Another stunt, but what this one gets them, you'll see. This is just pretty simple. You're gonna take the defensive end, Judon, get him underneath. He'll blitz, but he's got primary coverage on this running back. As soon as he sees this running back engage, he loops around on the outside and ends up being the free rusher. But watch Judon. Gets up underneath that tackle, eats up that running back as well, which frees up Bentley to come around the edge. He knows he's got pressure. But look at this, tight end, Tyler Conklin, right? Open, he's going to be open. Look at this space. All the quarterback has to do is get the ball here. He's gonna catch it in stride, maybe make a safety miss. Big opportunity for the offense, but because of all the pressure, because of Wilson getting hit so many times, he drops his elbow, slings this thing up in the air, floats it, and the safety's right there. If that ball was a spear, he'd be dead, and it should have been an interception for the New England defense. So as an offense, how do you combat all of this? Well, the main thing is to know you're hot, meaning a hot route is a route that comes in to beat the blitz. It's basically saying the receiver is going to block the unblocked blitzer through his route. This is a perfect example of this. Wilson at quarterback, shotgun, pretty balanced look, right? You have 6 guys really at the line of scrimmage. Watch the safety up on top, okay? They're really running just a quick double out here on the bottom. They bring the safety, they get it right at the right time where the line's turning this way. He's free. The tight end knows that. The tight end's saying, if this guy doesn't cover me and he blitzes, I'm wide open. So he breaks his route off. He's ready. The quarterback, however, is looking down here at his primary and really didn't see the blitz, didn't know it was coming, turns his vision back, but it's too late because by that time, the safety is already there to make the sack, was ruled down, not a fumble. But you have to know what your hot routes are. You have to know what your protections are, and you have to get that ball out quickly to beat this blitz. Along the same lines of knowing you're hot, you've got to identify what's going on behind you, and this is all about the pre-snap, and this is important for a smart quarterback to see exactly what is going on because you're going to see something different all the time. These guys are going to move around. They're going to look different. But one thing that stands out, anyone who's watching this film sees what? There's nobody deep in the middle of the field. 2 receivers up here, 2 DBs here, 1 here, 1 there. That is a huge red flag for zero blitz. Zero blitz means they're sending more people than you can block. So that means somebody has to break off a route and the quarterback has to get the ball out quickly because you can't block them all. But in this case, they all out blitz. Now, amazing part here is that he has a pocket, right? There's no real free rusher to the quarterback. These receivers are all at the sticks, but they all have their backs turned to the quarterback, right? Too deep. If one of these receivers could just break this off to the middle of the field or break it off on an out, this ball can get delivered in, on target, on time, move the chains, beat the blitz. That's how you get teams to stop blitzing, by beating them, making them pay for being aggressive. But in this case, routes are too deep. Wilson throws the football. You've got to burn them or they'll blitz you all night. So overall, after taking a look at the New England defense, you see they run the same kind of stunts that other teams do. It's not as if they had this magical formula. The magic comes into play when it's physicality, when it's toughness, and you have the right guys in there to execute those stunts. The Vikings have to be smart. Discipline on their offensive line, and Cousins is going to have to beat them pre-snap whenever he can.